Hello, 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 everybody. If you hear or coming in the video, or if you already been seeing some of my videos that I had posted already, thank you for returning to Black Sheep Chronicles, which is just a platform where I express my journey of battling and coming back from being lost mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Black Sheep Chronicles is just me, is the underdog who overcame the woman I am today is because of God and the Most High, my ancestors. And today we're going to talk a little about, as you see in the title, Lessons of Betrayal. People don't speak on betrayal a lot because betrayal is hard to come back from. Doesn't matter what spectrum you're on. Sometimes betrayal can in your life. And I just thank God so much for being here today and be able to share some of my stories. Having the courage to share some of my stories of betrayal and how God brought me through them things, and giving me the strength and confidence to share them today to hopefully help or save someone's life. We all know betrayal can be sticky. It can leave you in some real life-altering situations. They could fuck up your mind, which could lead to mental health, which is a sticky topic that a lot of people don't want to talk about, which God has given me the courage to speak about. I have battled mental health issues from betrayal, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Betrayal can leave you empty. Betrayal can leave you questioning your self-worth. Betrayal can leave you sometimes suicidal, questioning yourself on why you still here, why did God save you? A lot of times having survivor's guilt is deep. But I'm gonna share a story with you. It's so many. It's just so many. But from my last video, I did say I was going to come back on, and I didn't. So I apologize. And I wanted to elaborate on a story that started with me being pregnant with my first and only daughter. God blessed me with my daughter after a strong, hard betrayal that I went through. And where do I begin? I met a guy in 2005, 2006. For some reason, I always rushed into relationships, always. And I never took the time for myself. I ain't have to be in a relationship. I just went with the flow and the energy. If you was into me, fuck it, we can vibe. And I always got stuck. Always got stuck. God kept bringing me the dusties, the fixer-uppers, the ones that wasn't on my level financially, mentally, or nothing. And I was so sleep, so lost at the time of my purpose and myself. I didn't know how to distinguish the difference of, you know, who was wearing a mask, who wasn't wearing a mask, who was being real and authentic with me, who wasn't. Okay, so I'm with this guy. His name is Miami, right? I work in the healthcare field, in the mental health field. I love it. I love taking care of other people. I love taking care of people who can't take care of themselves, who just need some love and an extra hand. And I was dead in the middle of my career at the time. And God put him across my path. And I always thought that the way I walked, the way God designed me at the time, I was different. I knew I was different in that area. Like whoever came into my energy, I did know it was a reason, right? But I was still in karmic energy, still low vibration, still doing, I wasn't vibing high. I wasn't my authentic self. I wasn't who I am today. So I tolerated a lot of bullshit. I tolerated and did a lot of things that I wasn't supposed to do. That wasn't even part of my nature or walk, my purpose or anything. You got to be so careful, people, about the people that enter your life because you can take on their karma. You can take on their fates. I thought this man was different because he was older than the guys I usually date, you know. And he was a hustler. He ain't had no job. He ain't had shit going for him. Once again, I was the breadwinner. I was doing everything. And he took me down. And I didn't see it. My family seen it right away. But, they was always treating me like the black sheep anyway, like the underdog. So that's why I always felt like I was so passionate about creating my own family outside of, them. And you know what comes along with hustling and grinding and stuff like that. And he was diabetic at the time and turned around and had kidney disease and was on dialysis. And like my life just went crazy from me doing me, working, didn't have a care, no one to take care of but me, living my own lifestyle, doing what I wanted to do, to now a caregiver. I spent 8 years in a relationship with a man that I look back to today was just using me. He was just using me. You asked me, why you stay if you had the bread, if you had this and had that? I don't know. Comfortability after a while, altering my lifestyle to make someone else comfortable and convenient. I lost my job, my career job. I had to move from my apartment, my luxury apartment, to the hood where we continue to hustle. And me being green and naive to that world, I was just being a supportive partner. That wasn't my lifestyle. That ain't nothing that I had to do. I went to work and got my money that way. However, I wasn't ashamed of it. Things was going well. And, what comes with money comes hate, more money, more problems. And me losing my job put me in a depression for like 2 years. 2 years, I didn't know what was going to happen, how I was going to survive, how I was going to. I went from being the caregiver, the money maker, bringing the bag home, to having to look at him with his cigars. He had to go out there and now grind and hustle and stuff like that harder to make sure everything was good. But that still, I wasn't content with that. That wasn't my life. And I used to pray to God and pray to God, ask God for some relief, you know what I mean, for some relief. I worked a couple of side jobs, so he wouldn't be out there so much. But it didn't help. And one day, October 13, 2012, some guys from the hood came to my house and tried to, well, they did. They came to do a home invasion and rob us, right? All day his cell phone was ringing, off the hook, off the hook. He wasn't saying nothing, but his energy was off. And he just kept saying, when we get home, he just wanted to lay down. He was tired, but this one guy just kept calling his phone. So we was away from home all day, doing that. So by the time we got back home, it seemed like it was the darkest night of October. And we pulled up, and it seemed like the street lights was out. It just seemed like it was just extra dark that night. So make a long story short, the person that was calling his phone finally came to the house and met up with him. Well, before he got there, he asked me, was I strapped? And I was like, I gotta be. And he, still was keeping the conversation short, was like, yeah, but he didn't want me to load the gun, which I felt was a nut move. But anyway, the guy came, he knew us, you know what I mean? He introduced, said, what's up? But he wanted me to stand on the porch this night while, he talked to him inside the vestibule of our apartment building. So I'm standing on the porch, on the top of the porch, like I'm looking out, like I'm the lookout, right? And as soon as he closed the door behind me to do what he was going to do with the guy, 2 other guys walked up at the bottom of the porch. One guy walked up, he had a mask on. And then like 3-5 seconds later, maybe, a tall guy walked up and he had a skeleton mask on and he had a gun in his hand. And all these flies, monitor spirits. I knew it from the stature of the person who walked up on me. It's like I knew him, from the neighborhood, but I could tell he knew me too because he put the gun in my face, but he told me to back up softly, like 3 times. He was like, back up, back up, back up, like that. He wasn't aggressive, and yeah. So I'm backing up now into the vestibule area of the apartment building where the mailboxes are. And my dude see me, and he see the gun in my face. And everything happened so fast. He goes to push me out the way and try to close our front porch door, which now separated me and the armed guy with the skeleton mask on. So we're going back and forth, trying to lean up against the door because it wasn't a locked front porch door, try to keep him on the other side. we, trying to lean up against the door. I'm in front of him, he's behind me, and we, lean up against the door. And all of a sudden you hear, bow, gunshot go off. And the rest of your area, the little small area where we are, fills up with smoke. And the guys on the other side of the door start pushing. Miami never said a word at all. I turned around and looked at him. Behind me, he was hit in his head. They shot him in his head. Soon as I seen that, he started sinking. Oh my God. My mind is all over the place, people. I'm like, what to do? I'm just like, can you imagine? I gotta think fast. I'm looking at the work on the floor. I'm looking at the gun that I got. I'm banging on my neighbor's doors, asking them to call 911, asking them for help. I'm looking at Miami. I'm zipping his hoodie down, and I'm like, ooh, if I start CPR, I can't stop. And I'm like, I gotta move everything. So I hurry up and take everything upstairs and move everything around, and I'm rushing back down to him. The neighbors are starting to come out, and I'm, doing CPR. It seemed like the word went by so fast. Like, people started coming to the house. It was really overwhelming, and the police came. They took him away on a stretcher, and they put me in the back of an undercover car, and I had to leave my residence. I left my car keys, pocketbook, or they went and let me go back upstairs for nothing. They had me riding around for a little bit, looking for the people who could have probably had did this, you know what I mean? And everybody they stopped, it was a no, and shortly they got a phone call that he didn't make it. And they told me in the car that he died. And they took me to the precinct, and they kept me there for 3 days, and they questioned me over and over and over and over again. After 3 days, they told me I could never go back to my house. Was it anywhere that I could go? And I said, yes, I can go to my mother's house. In the back of my mind, I'm like, it's work. Everything is in the house. I got to get to the house. Not even thinking about. I cried the whole 3 days while I was in there. It didn't really hit me until I got back out on the street. And I went to my mother's house where my brother and my nephew were living. They didn't know anything about what was going on until I got there. The detectives dropped me off. But they was waiting for that type of situation to happen to me, low-key. They didn't support me at all. At all, people. And I had to go back to my house. And I begged them and I asked them, could they go with me? My brother told me, you be all right, sis. Yo, he told me, you be all right, sis. My nephew went because my nephew wanted to see what he could grab. I gave him my house keys and I trusted him. And he came back with something worked, but I thought he took a lot of shit too. While I was being held for 3 days, my apartment was ramshacked. They stole my wallet, my truck keys, my ID. They went through my whole apartment and ransacked it. And it was a close person on the block that knew us who did it, who went inside and did it. A person that smiled in our face every day, smoked with us every day, who robbed my house and took a lot of my personal items. Okay, so now I'm on my way back to the house. I call my girlfriend. She calls AAA to get my battery out my trunk since they took my truck keys. So I said, okay, I have to get mobile. My girlfriend said I could come stay with her. It's going to cost me $150 to get another set of keys to my truck to get up and running. This shit is like a story, but I swear on my life, this is all true. I gather up what I got. Now I'm out here. I'm paranoid. I started stuttering. It just happened. I wanted to speak one and I couldn't. It lasted about 2-3 months. I just couldn't talk right after seeing that situation. But I'm still out here. I'm still, in the mix, and I'm still making a way. Paranoid all over the place. A lot of people used me during that time that all I needed was some rest. I needed a place where I can lay my head and feel safe enough to figure out how I was going to get back on my feet. And people saw me razzle dazzle. People saw me. They was waiting for me to fall off. They was waiting. They was waiting for me to fall in. They smelled blood. They was waiting. I was trying to get a job anywhere. McDonald's, Taco Bell, anything. I was going to interviews crying. I had to share what had happened, and I'm just like, fit me in anywhere, and they wouldn't nobody hire me. So I stayed hustling. So from October to January, I was just running in circles. People was calling me, telling me that I need to change cars, that people was looking for me. It was just crazy. My mind was gone, people. And I was still out here moving around and acting like everything was okay. Out of all my family, I had a sister, older sister. Some of my family members found out what happened and, got in touch with me. Didn't nobody offer their home to open their door for me. I asked my oldest sister, and she said, no. Straight up, no. Wasn't even a second guess, no. It wasn't. And I wasn't even the one who asked it. I would have never asked her. Her daughter asked her because she was like, Dad, honey, you can't go nowhere. She was like, my mom got that big ass house over there, 4 bedrooms. I was like, I'm not asking her. I'll stay out here and get it out the mud before I go ask her. But it was still the same. My niece said, you know how funny I am, but you can get the basement, I can put a mattress down there and, you can get the basement. But she still offered, right? I didn't take it. I stayed true to myself. I said, I'm out here. And I stayed out there. And I stayed with a girlfriend and her mom who talked me into going back to the apartment and getting all my furniture because I had real expensive furniture. I'm thinking that her mom was a church lady. She told me I wasn't leaving. She said, God brought you to my doorstep. She said, I'm going to cover you underneath my divine umbrella. This is a church lady. She said, go get your shit. You can bring it here. And I had heavy furniture. Not one time did I think that she had ulterior motives or was trying to manipulate me. So I'm hustling. I got the money. I got my truck up and running at this time, so I'm mobile, I bring all my furniture to her house. My girlfriend, she's still working. So I'm taking her back and forth to work. She's probably, I'm going to give you some gas money. Sis, at the end of the week, she give me $10, $20 in the Explorer truck. Just using me. Her mom would call me all day long. Just demands. Oh, when you come in, can you bring me a cheesesteak? Oh, when you pick up such and such from work, can y'all such and such? It was just no rest. If I try to stay back and sleep in, she would wait for her daughter to go to work and come in my room and ask me, did you apply for any jobs yet? We not letting the devil win. We getting right back to work. I told my girlfriend, I was like, your mom is on my ass. She won't let me rest. So when she got up for work, I did too and was going all day with her. I would stay riding around somewhere or just, be. To make a long story short, me and her daughter fell out. We had differences. And of course, her mom picked her daughter's side because I wasn't no longer going to be a flunky and ride her mom around back and forth to work and just be a nut. You know what I mean? After a while, it just was like, all right, you know what I mean? So her mom took her key back off my keychain. Didn't ask me for it. Just took her key off my keychain. And kept all my furniture. I had to leave their house. Bitch, you don't like what's going on here. You don't want to be used. Then you go ahead on out there in the street and see how they do you. My bedroom set was $3,000. I had flat screen TVs and art pieces of when I traveled and went out the country and different things, like, when shit get real, people, and shit do get real, real fast, you have to trust in God. I was paranoid. My mind was all over the place. I was razzled, dazzled, stuttering, can't communicate properly. Like, when I left there, I went to my oldest brother's house. He found out what had happened to me, and I finally picked up the phone to call him, because I wasn't calling none of my family members. Fuck that. I don't care how hard to get out here. I don't care what I'm going through. I'll never call them motherfuckers. But this brother, we the same sign, birthday 2 days apart, but he's a lot older than I am. He was in his 60s. I was in my 30s at the time. And when I picked up the phone and he heard my voice, he started crying. And he said, "I've been waiting for you to call me, baby sis." And he said, come home. And I did. I stayed with him a couple of months. And he did everything in his power to try to help me get back to myself, my self-esteem back, and my voice back. He made t-shirts. He made flyers. I'm still representing this guy that I'm still in my heart feeling like I gotta revenge his death in his honor. My brother didn't have the patience to deal with me being all over the place, still being stubborn, still being a rebel, still wanting to do what I want to do. And he just kept saying, "Sis, you gotta get some help. You gotta go get some help. You gotta go get some help." So after a couple of months, I did. And he ended up putting me out too. You know what I mean? Which was the best thing that ever happened, because if I stayed in my comfort zone, I wouldn't be where I am today. This was October 13th, 2012. I didn't fully get back on my feet financially until February, March 2000, maybe 14. Yeah, so it's like I look back at that situation, and I heard a lot of feedback, from some of the guys from the hood say that word was going around the neighborhood that they was coming to set us up, and they said that some of the guys did step to Miami outside of my knowledge and told them that this was being said, this was, going to happen. And from their mouth to my ears, Miami was like, fuck it, they know where I'm at. What? Do you know how I felt, people, when I heard that? How you so cocky to say, fuck it, you know where we at? When you had a heads up that they were coming, we did not have to go home. We did not have to go home. We had money. We were mobile. We could have stayed in a hotel for a month, 2 months, and got a plane together. Something. Excuse me. He put me in harm's way. He put me in harm's way for his pride and ego. And he didn't even tell me. And then had me on the front line holding a gun that wasn't even loaded. Some nut ass shit. Like, that's how you want it to go down? Excuse me. Hello? Hello? Yes. Hey. What's smaller? The lock that's always there, or the one that you seen around Halloween? Now? All right, I'm about to come outside. Let me outside because I didn't know. I ain't been around you. You gotta open the gate. I didn't know it was okay. I'm about to put my coat on. Okay, I'm gonna put my coat on. I know. Okay, give me a minute. I'm sorry, people. We're gonna have to end this and I'll come back. I apologize. Part 2, story time.